What is happening in the Jets building, I think we are really starting to learn about for the first time. There's been rumors about how it operates over there, and people go like, place stinks, always will stink. What's the curse? Woody. Woody's the curse.
Whoa.
Well, it turns out from an article that we read, written by...
Is it Diana Rossini?
And I think it was the entire crew over there.
Yeah.
Zach Blatt.
Yeah, I think it was, and Mike Silver, I think it was a slew of insiders writing for The Athletic. Obviously, New York Times owns The Athletic. So this is high-level journalism, obviously, high-level sourcing. The stories that we are hearing, not about Woody Johnson, okay, certainly may be a problem, but about Woody Johnson's boy.
What?
Brick Johnson.
Oh, Brick.
The Brick.
Do you know who Brick, have you heard about, I didn't know Brick Johnson existed. I learned today, 17-year-old boy, okay?
17.
He's a Harvard tennis player.
Yeah.
Damn.
He went to Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts, which, Connor, you know well, I think it's $75,000 a year, right? 75?
Yeah, very expensive. The prep schools in New England are definitely illustrious schools in the region, and they've been around since, we looked it up, 1790, I believe, some of these schools.
1796, I think it founded by Samuel Adams.
Bingo.
I believe, yes, that Samuel Adams founded Deerfield Academy. So we're talking old money. We're talking old money. But we're talking about, I guess, a very mature boy, okay?
Yes.
Because Woody Johnson, his father, who owns a franchise, there's only 32 of them, owns an NFL team that everybody on earth is looking to buy, looking to own. He has a 17-year-old boy, I guess, just making decisions, giving speeches, on the phones on draft day for the undrafted free agents.
This a younger Khan type deal?
Tony Khan is the director of football strategies down there in chief football strategist.
I don't remember him starting at 17.
17
Maybe making the decision.
Prodigy, kind of. Brick's kind of a prodigy.
Didn't go to
I think we actually have Brick with us. Hey, Brick, when did this all start for you running the New York Jets?
Pretty much whenever I wanted it to start. My dad doesn't know shit about football. I do. That's kind of why he put me in the position that I'm in. A lot of stuff going around, but yeah, I mean, big deal. Draft night, we get someone on the phone. Who's the first one saying, "Welcome to New York, bruh"? Me.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're not giving like post-game speeches or anything, are you, though?
When it's necessary. A lot of people are kind of making waves about that. Yeah, big deal. Get a big win on a Thursday night. Coach Brick, not I'm Brick. Which is honestly maybe a little bit of old Brick, okay, but he gets his first win. Rodgers is kind of, which we can talk about him later.
Well, you traded for him, didn't you?
Well, I told my dad, yeah, it's
you were 15 at the time.
Yeah, I said, hey, I've been grinding the tape. I've been watching the tape. This guy's still pretty good. Okay, so let's maybe get him. Now, did I also have hands in drafting Zach Wilson? Maybe.
You would have been like, 12 years old?
Yeah, 12.
Kind of a wonderkind. Kind of a wonderkind, if you will, though. Age is just with you.
Yeah.
17, 47. I've crammed more football knowledge in the last 5 years than, for instance, Chuck has in his entire life.
Okay. He's dedicated his entire life. It does feel like you have a lack of respect for like really anything other than like just how you personally feel in the moment. Because I think what you were talking about there with Coach Brick.
Sorry, I'll get
all bricked. Well, no, let me do it for you, Brick.
Okay.
These are things, that as you grow older, you'll kind of fit into. You're somehow going to get smarter, which none of us really know how.
Harvard.
That's right.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
I forgot about that.
So,
how's your tennis game? We good? We checking to watch or what?
Well, actually, I'm 1-3 in singles and 0-3 in doubles. So, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be running the Jets here shortly. So my tennis career may be short-lived.
Yeah, you're watching too much film. You're not focusing on forehands and backhands
Thank
and
you.
jump shots and drop shots against all the other Ivy Leaguers who've been playing, and they're just doing tennis. I get it, Brick. But I guess after Coach Olbrick's first win as the head coach, the Halloween night, Aaron Rodgers, as customary, gets the game ball, goes into the locker room, and basically Coach Brick is going to get kind of handed the game ball for his first ever NFL win. It's a big moment.
Huge.
Big moment. That's like a massive moment in the entire interim coaching thing, especially as a former player with how that team has been treated, how that season has gone. That was going to be a massive moment. Then, allegedly, what's being reported with sources anonymously, through New York Times, The Athletic, is that you actually snagged another game ball from an equipment manager. And before all that could happen, you just said, game ball, Garrett Wilson. But could you fathom being a general manager in the NFL, a coach in the NFL, a player in the NFL, and a 17-year-old who has accomplished nothing other than being born into the family, was to come up and say something to you about your profession? This is what's being reported. We have no idea what's real and what's not real. This is just from New York Times, The Athletic, high-level journalism happening. They're saying this is taking place. That's bananas to think about. And whenever you see, people say, like, the Jets are never going to win. And it's like, if you haven't been in the building, I don't think you would have ever guessed that was. I don't think I would have ever guessed that was happening. Did you know about any of this? And how do you feel about this particular operation that's taking place over there?
Obviously, I just heard about it, but all the buildings that I've been in, starting in Cleveland, early 2000s, to the Raiders, to the Ravens, to the Colts, Bears. There's a lot of coaches. There's a lot of ownership. There's front office. There's a lot of people. After games, there's sons and kids. People come in, right? But never, have I ever seen. You never heard a word, right? Like my grandfather's rules was, children would be seen and not heard.
In the locker.
That's how we grew up. Everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Love that.
And if somebody addresses you and they ask you a question, then you can speak, but otherwise, no. But just fascinating to read that you finally get this win right after everything that's been going on.
Big moment.
And we're going to celebrate, the guy that's, taken on this responsibility, and Jeff Ulbrich, right, interim head coach. And we're going to celebrate him and the team, and they're fired up, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
a 17-year-old kid comes in. Hey,
I
bro.
can't even imagine the looks on the faces of those players. Like, can you imagine, hey, where you? And then here comes, what'd you call him?
What?
The Wonder?
Wonder Kid?
He's a Wonderkin for sure. But Garrett went mad dummy. That's why he was so jacked.
Yeah, okay. Dad, see him come out of left field? No. Like, here we go.
Just think of this guy. Obviously, we know what he wears. He has a sport coat on.
Mm-hmm. Blue blazer, gold
button up,
down.
not all the way,
Yep.
but no tie on. We got that thing tucked in, probably some khakis.
Yep.
You got some loafers on.
Yep.
We just hair's obviously perfectly coiffed. Kid looks good coming in there.
Swoop.
So jacked about a first win in a long time. So jacked. Just need to like Garrett Wilson, and he went
mad dummy, bruh.
That's what I was referencing, man.
Game ball. And then I guess Woody took the game ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand. Thank you. Shut up. Coach Brick, congrats on your first year win. Break him up. Let's get out of here.
You did it.
But all those people being around Jim was in all those locker rooms. The respect that they understand between players and coaches and what just transpired on they never, when it was time and there was a moment or whatever and you had it, but it wasn't certainly on top of like your quarterback or your head coach or anything like that.
Yeah, I appreciate every time we learn something new that I didn't know was even possible. It's the highest level.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Let's remember that. There's a lot of kids. You mentioned a lot of teams that have a lot of kids pass down to get the team. And some kids, I think, do good. Some kids, though, having this potential life that has shown them that they have zero accountability. They have it all figured out. And I'm not saying this about Brick. He's, from it sounds like, though, shut up.
There's a chance.
Like there is a chance that he grows into this. He wants to be around so he can learn. Like Jim Irsay tells stories about working in the equipment room whenever he was like a young teenager so that he could kind of get to feel the lay of the land of what a football team's like. I was in the locker room whenever Bob broke his ankle and this whole thing. Like he tells those stories. And then he was the youngest general manager ever hired, I think, in the history of the NFL, Jim Irsay. He was like 31 or something like that. His dad hired him. Then he bought the team when he was like 36 years old or something like that for $1 million from his dad. So it's like Jim certainly was around when he was young, but I think like he had this sense of like I'm a player. I think he wanted to view himself as a football player, as opposed to Brick wants to view himself as an owner. Like I'm an owner of a team because his dad is an owner of a team, and it's like, man, you're very lucky that you're born into that position. Just have a little sense of gratitude for it and awareness, and then when your time comes to actually run the team, you have an advantage over everybody else that's new money into the NFL, as opposed to having a disadvantage because you've been acting like an entitled brat your entire life. Like that is if I'm a Jets fan and I'm hearing this, I'm really bummed out because it's not just right now.
No.
Nope.
Everybody's like, Woody's a problem. It's like, don't worry, there's more. There's actually a littler one that's almost sounds like he'll be around. He'll somehow find a way to live forever too. And he's not. It sounds like his dream is to run the Jets forever. Gary Vee said, I want to buy the Jets. You got no shot. Brett
Ain't
Johnson,
happening.
Sorry, Gary.
he's the owner as a 17-year-old brother. That ain't never happening.
Well, and again, we have no idea how true this is or how accurate it is because, sorry, excuse me. Obviously, a story like
Sorry,
this.
you're all choked up.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about young man.
Yeah,
Emotional.
exactly.